Hello everybody, my name is Erika and in today's stream we are going to rig a new direction for the character helmet that was made by my colleague Siniša and his wife Natalia. And we are approaching the end of this cycle of streams since only the northeast and the north direction are left for our character to complete the rigging. So we have our character in its front direction. This is the setup pose that we are going to keep throughout the rigging process of this character, as this is the most symmetrical pose, and we are going to store all the alternate poses in this turnaround animation that we have here. So we have the front version of the character, the 3/4 that we completed last time, and the side view. Both the front and the 3/4 view feature the fact that the head rotates in a 2.5D style, while the side view clearly doesn't need it. And we are going to add the two missing sides. We are going to transform all of the attachments for the new directions into meshes so that they can be easier to match to the bones that we will change in position during the turnaround animation, so that they will follow the position that this character should have in northeast view. I'm going to filter the tree on attachments, and because I named the attachments based on the direction with a prefix, it's easy to sort them by direction. Perhaps this is going to be actually the last stream since they are so few. I'm not sure. I could even transform both the north and northeast direction attachments into meshes since we're at it, and I think I'm going to do just that. Oh, I'm gonna be a bit sad if this is the last stream, unexpectedly. And now I'm going to bind all of these meshes to the root so that they can be independent from the bones they are actually bound to. Then I'm going to bind them to the respective bones in the turnaround animation so that they can follow them after we move the bones in the new position during the turnaround animation. I'm going to open the weights panel and enlarge it a little bit here, and then I'm going to bind the various parts to the root. So I bind these and these, and so we completed the binding to the root of all these pieces. So now I actually can do another thing, which is create meshes for all of these pieces, so not just binding them to the root. Yeah, I should have done that too. So I go back here and I create a mesh, and then I'll bind it again to the root. So let's first try to trace. This tracing function is amazing. And here we go. Let's create the inner vertices. Yeah, we're gonna make use of the turnaround here so I can copy and paste these keyframes in a new animation. And I'm gonna briefly show you, call this test, and paste this first one. So you see it perfectly here, but it's wrecked in the setup pose, which is totally normal. So we have our character here, and perhaps I also paste the animation here, the same keyframe here at the end of the animation. And for example, I rotate this part. This is something super common. Like people, beginners, think, oh, I can animate this character, so I'm gonna animate it breathing, and I'm gonna place this here, and then maybe I'm gonna move everything possible that there is to move everywhere, because I'm trying to demonstrate that I placed controls everywhere. Yeah, and also randomly move the head like this just because I can. And then this is, oh yeah, I also have to create keys for this, otherwise it doesn't count. So I press Ctrl-Shift-L so that it can create automatically the missing keys for me here. Okay, so this is a very common idle animation that beginners do. They just move something around and it's placed like this, right? An easy way to improve this animation already is to apply some curves. So this is like the very easiest thing to do, and usually this helps, especially when you have something like hair. Now it's not really noticeable in this case, but another thing that can be done, and that I think it's really, it's so noticeable that I'm just gonna remove it. We can also use the offset tool, and by offsetting, I mean that we choose something that it's supposed to happen a bit later and have it happen later. And I offset their rotation keys. So I make this happen like 2 keyframes after, and you'll see that already the fact that he's moving the arms this way, which is a total unnatural way of moving your arms, but it's looking slightly better. It looks more like a character from Animal Crossing this way. Also, you see that it's like they are breathing, these ears, and this is not that nice. So we are gonna apply the offset also to these ears. And oh, perhaps we can also apply it to the head. So first we apply the offset to the head, and we try to not apply the same amount of offset to all the parts, so it gets a bit more lively. Okay, and then you can try it a little bit until it doesn't look weird anymore. So let's see, it goes up, and this should go down instead. So let's do this. Oh, and suddenly it looks okay. So you see, we went from that earlier version to a kind of cute idol in minutes. It really takes this little. Use the offset button if you're a beginner. Now. I'll edit this mesh. Oh, in this case I think tracing may work, but with way less detail. We completed the creation of meshes here. So I'm gonna switch to animate mode to create the new frame in the turnaround animation for the northeast direction. So I'm gonna activate the northeast and then the north direction. We're gonna do both. And northeast it is. We're gonna activate it by pressing H. And then I have to manually deactivate the parts that are not supposed to be seen. And I have to finally change the draw order. So we have this facing in this direction. Next we can align the bones. We can also just activate the north direction since we're at it. So let's activate it. It's activated. Nice. With all our meshes already in place. So first we rearrange the bones to match these new positions. I'm gonna translate this here. I wonder if I can reuse the same positions that we have here. So I guess I'll start from the north direction for the simple fact that I should be able to copy and paste the positions from one bone to another. So this is a neat trick if you need to invert the position of the bones from one frame of the turnaround to the other. So first I select the bone that I want to copy over. So I'll copy this, and I'm copying the transforms because I selected the bone and not the keyframe here. Now I go here. Instead of selecting that bone, I'm gonna select the other one and paste. Now go back here, and now I am gonna copy this one. So I reselect it in here, copy, and then I paste it, but I paste it here on this other one. So they are inverted. Here there's this one, and here it's on the opposite side. Great! And we do the same also for these parts here. I select first these and this bone and copy, and then I select these and this bone, go on frame 20 and copy. So now I do it also here. No, I just copied that one, so I need to select this back, these two, copy. I go back on frame 20, I select the other two bones and paste, and now they're in the correct position. I'm saving, and then I'm gonna copy this and this, copy, and then I go here and select this and this bone and paste. Also the other leg gets this treatment, so 1, 2 and 3, copy, and then 1, 2 and 3, and I go on frame 20 and I paste, save. That went perfectly. I'm very happy. I also have to mirror this bone's position, and it's actually I think I can get away with, first of all, changing the arm bending, so like this, and I'll have to do the same also here, clearly. Okay, and then I go back in here, copy, and I select these two, 1 and 2, and paste. So they are back to being perfectly correct. Okay, so that's basically the north view. We don't care about these other bones position, so we're gonna leave them where they are. I'm gonna match it to the correct tail. Maybe I'll come a tad closer and orient it so that it follows the tail direction. So I'm also missing the arms here. Okay, the arms are already in a better position. Okay, this looks like a good position. Then I rotate this a little bit so it's matching the direction that this one has, and the same here. And then I have to change the direction of these two bones. So I'm copying this, I'm pasting it here, and then I'm gonna go here and change how they bend so they are restored. That looks good. The legs need to be centered a little bit better, and then we are done. I'm gonna use that trick that I used last time, where I'm lowering the mix temporarily on the legs so that they are not influenced anymore by the eye case. I can place them where I want, and then I'm gonna use these bones that I placed on the tip to facilitate copying and pasting. And once I'm satisfied with them, and I'm not satisfied yet, so I'm gonna move it a little bit to the side, and then I'm gonna have it more in the middle, like this. Okay, now that I'm satisfied, I'm gonna copy the transform here, paste it on this bone so it gets exactly where the other one is. I'm gonna do the same here, copy and paste, and then I can reactivate the eye case and they are gonna not move. Okay, so we completed realigning these bones, but so far these meshes aren't following them. So the next step is to bind each mesh to the respective main bone, and in case also adjust the weights so that every part can bend properly. So we've restored the setup and we have this turnaround. You know what? I think I'm gonna give up on trying to make this turnaround smooth. So I'm only keeping these frames and I'm gonna get them closer so that we only see the change. So the change is after 1 frame. And this is the result. Wow! And we are going to achieve the other direction pretty easily, but we'll have to add a container bone. So I'm gonna add the container bone just now. I just have to select the root, create a new bone. I'm gonna call this bone container. Okay. And I'm gonna change the icon to this precious diamond, which I love to use for containers icons. Okay. And save. And now that I have this, I'm gonna place the effects and the hips inside it, and also the leg IKs, so that if I want to make him jump, it's gonna be easier. Well, Siniša has had to do it without the help of the container, so he did it this way. And isn't this just super cute? Just so cute. And then we have this east test, and I'm gonna create something similar for the northeast and then the north animation, so that I can make sure that everything is bound to the correct bones and I can test the weights safely away from what effectively is a second setup pose for all of these parts. So I'm gonna copy this and I'll call it northeast test, and then I'm gonna paste this direction. See how easy it can get, except for the fact that we have the eyes showing, and that's not ideal. So let's see if I can, let's see, northeast, Ctrl+Shift+L, my way there, copy, and then I go on the northeast test and paste. And now the eyes are gone. Fantastic. I'm also gonna Ctrl+Shift+L here so that these same keyframes are stored for this direction. Now, first of all, I can move the container bone so I can test what parts I forgot to bind. And I'm gonna do a test for also the north direction. Okay, so I'm gonna finish these north weights here. I still have to bind the various parts in the turnaround, so I'm gonna do that quickly too. We did it. We just completed the all the directions. We did it. Okay, so we have our turnaround animation here. Now what's left to truly complete this is to flip our character by using the container. So the next trick that I'm gonna do is I copy over the number 3, then I copy over number 2, then I copy over number 1, and then I copy over frame 0. No, frame 0 is not needed. But after this one, I want to flip the container. So I'm gonna do it by setting the scale to -1. So like this. Now that the scale is set to -1, and I'm gonna copy and paste the scale also here. That's so horrible. You see, I forgot to bind these to the proper bones in here. So that's why it didn't move. We did it! That's it. Now, whenever we need, we can copy over the various frames of this turnaround animation, and we could even mix the characters so that it's looking in one direction with the head while the body is pointing in a different direction. So that's one of the advantages of having all the directions in one single skeleton. And I hope that you'll make great use of these techniques. I tried to add some techniques so that they are updated compared to the 8 direction character stream, where we had to do a bit of a different approach, which was a bit more difficult. It required to duplicate skeletons, activate parts, try to copy things around. As you see now, it is much simpler. Also, with the key parts of being able to copy and paste transforms of bones or of vertices, and also the fact that we can just bind during animate mode without having to go crazy about things. I think this is a very viable kind of approach to use for your characters in your animations. As you saw, it can also be used to do crazy 3D stuff like that diamond. So we can also arrive at achieving such effects. I hope you enjoyed this series of stream, and I hope it was useful for you. I surely enjoyed your company, and I hope that if you're watching the video, you'll also have found everything that you needed to be able to create your characters and enrich them with multiple poses, and don't feel limited by the fact that yes, this is a skeleton character made in skeletal animation, but you can add anything you need, and it should be also easy to expand this character for your needs or your game's needs. And now, goodbye to everybody. I hope to see you also in the future. Remember that you can find me on the Esoteric Software forum or on the unofficial Discord. I'll make sure to answer your questions as best as I can. And see you next time. Bye!